Hi guys, it's Cyndi, aka Disney Queen. Yes, I have on the same clothes I had in my previous video, but I just thought that I would. I'm getting ready to go and visit my mom and my sister, and we're getting ready to celebrate the twins' first birthday. So I should be packing, but I thought I would do a couple of videos before I got to packing. Anyway, long story short, I came to share, and I promised her I was going to share this. I finished making the t-shirt and the ears and the key fob for the winner of my 300 subscriber giveaway. I'm going to put her name here, and I'm going to put a link below because she does have a YouTube channel. And I told her that before I sent them out, I was going to do a video so I could share with everyone what they look like. So as you know, I did a Star Wars theme for my 300 subscriber giveaway, and I made her a pair of Star Wars ears, and I really hope that she likes them. I actually padded these a little bit more than I usually pad ears, and but they really came out nice. It has a big bow on it. It has Chewbacca on one side, and then you can kind of see him peeping out the other side. And then on the back, that is the pattern on the back, and it's trimmed in blue. And then the headband is black. I gave her a choice of what color t-shirt she wanted, if she wanted a blue or if she wanted a black, and she chose black, so I went with the black headband as well. So these are the ears. Guys, I have been making ears like crazy. I also told her that I was going to make her a key fob, which I did. And this one has a little key ring on the end for you to she can use it on the end of a bag, or she can use it to hang keys, and it's got a big loop so you can hold on to it. I put one on one of my wallets that didn't have like a strap on it, and I use that like if I just want to take my wallet into the store with me and I don't want to take a big bag, I will take my wallet with my key fob on the end of it. So she has a Star Wars key fob. And then I did a t-shirt, and it's black, but it has a Star Wars pocket on it, and it's the pattern that matches the ears. So I really hope that she likes it. I'm going to be sending it off, and it was so much fun doing, and I can't believe that I made it to 300 subscribers. Since I was working on her ears, I thought that what I would do is show you how I make my ears. I actually sew my ears. I've tried doing it with the glue and just gluing ears, and I haven't liked how they turn out. I don't like the raw edge on the top of it when it's done, and so I tend to sew my ears. I will put like a link below to where I get my template from, and I will put a link below to well, actually, I will put a list of things that I use to make my ears. If you ever want to try it, if you have a question, you can always leave a comment below. But I thought I would take you through the process of how I go about making a pair of Mickey ears. Because I'm going to be doing some Christmas ears, a Moana ears. I still want to do my own Star Trek ears. And I saw some Incredible fabric, so I want to do the Incredibles. And there's one other one I know that I really want to do. I can't think. I had like a whole list of, Toy Story. I know I want to make a pair of Toy Story ears because at some point I hope to make it back to the parks and I'll be able to see Toy Story for the first time. So I'm going to insert clips to show you how I went about making my ears, and I hope you like it. Hi guys, it's Cyndi, aka Disney Queen. I thought I would show you how I go about making a pair of Disney ears. These are the things that you're going to need. I actually sew my ears, so I have a sewing machine. It's actually my daughter's, and she let me borrow it. So I have a sewing machine. You will need foam board that you're going to trace the ears out on. You'll need a headband that you're going to cover. You need one rubber band. You'll need some type of batting. I use Low Loft Quilters batting, and I got that from Walmart. For this particular one, you'll need some lace trim to put on the inside to cover your seams.
Or you can do a gross grain ribbon and wrap it around the headband. I usually do cloth ribbon. You will need two types of fabric and two different, I do a solid and a pattern. And this is like a Disney thing. These are just examples. And this is 18 inches by 22 inches. And I get this at Walmart as well. And it's already pre-cut. It's less than $1 for each one of these samples. And I think it's like 98 cents. You will need some pins. You need a pen to trace your template on, and there are two templates, and I will leave a link below. There's a template for your cardboard, which I use foam board. There's a template for your fabric, and I also put what is this called, rickrack around my ears when I'm done to cover up the glue so you don't see that. Oh, you will need a glue gun and some glue sticks. Of course, you're going to need a bobbin that's threaded and some thread, and that is it. So of course, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to trace your template onto your foam board, and I use an X-Acto knife to kind of score it first, and then I cut it out with scissors, and it's a little tough, but it can be done. And then after you've traced it out and cut out your foam board, what you're going to have is, now after you cut out your templates, you will have two ears made out of foam. Like I said, I get these at the Dollar Tree. This one is a little rough, but once you put it in and you pat it, then you won't really be able to tell the difference. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take your fabric pattern, and you're going to cut out the ears like this. You're going to cut them out. And what I do, if it's not like a pattern that you have to be really careful with, like if you're not trying to, if it's just an all over pattern, which is kind of what this particular pattern is, and you'll see in a minute, then you don't have to be as strategic as you would usually be. But let's say you have a pattern where you're trying to get a specific part of the pattern in the middle of your template. This is what you do. A different fabric here is an example. See how it has the roses, and then this is a Beauty and the Beast pattern that I picked up. Okay, so you see how on here it has the castle, it has Beauty and the Beast. So if I wanted that to be in the middle of my ears, what I would have to do is when I cut out my pattern, I would have to make sure that I pin the pattern directly over that piece of picture. Now that works if you have a lot of fabric. You can work around it a little bit more, but because this is just a sample piece of fabric, you really have to be careful when you're cutting out your pattern to make sure you have enough material. Because what I do is I use this material, this one square, to not only cut out 4 panels of the fabric. You have to cut out 4 panels of this fabric. I also use a small part of it to trim around my bow. And what I'll do is I'll show you what I mean by that. Okay. So let's say my bow is made out of the solid color square. I will use this solid color square to not only make my bow, but I will also use it to cover the headband if I'm doing a cover headband. In this case, we're not doing a cover headband because I feel like that's a little bit more difficult than doing one that you wrap with ribbon. But so this is the bow completed, and I will show you how I go about doing that as well. And now you see why you need a rubber band, but that's the completed bow. What I usually do is I have a piece of fabric also cut from my main piece of fabric that I will cut a small strip that I will then fold over and iron so that it has like a seamless look. And that will be wrapped around to cover up this headband, and also it gives it another look to the fabric. So in this case, the one that I'm working on, because I'm in the process right now of doing a couple of my ribbons, you see how the pattern isn't really showing up, you're just seeing the yellow. That's actually fine for this particular one, but if it's an all over pattern, you will see the entire pattern on your bow. This particular one, I'm making a Winnie the Pooh one, and if the bee does not show up, that's fine, because I actually have, it's either a honey pot or a bee button that I'm going to put in the middle. So, but that is why you have to be really careful when doing your cutting your fabric pattern out, because you're going to use some of that fabric to make your little loop that's going to go across your bow. So getting back to the fabric at hand, you're going to sew it. After you cut it, you're going to make 2 panels back to back, inside out, and you're going to trace and then cut that out. You will need to use pins to keep it in place, and then you will get on your sewing machine and you will sew all the way around, but you leave this opening at the bottom, which is like the curved end of your template, so that you can fill your ear with the batting that you're going to use. After you've sewn your ear, you're going to iron it, because you want everything to kind of lay flat when you turn it over. And then, as you can see, this is the other side where you can see I did this with a dark line so that you could see, but you really don't want to use anything this dark on a light pattern because it will show through your fabric. But this is so that you can see what it's actually supposed to look like when you're cutting it. And you need to leave a few inches around your sewing line. So what I tend to do is I cut my fabric a little bit larger around the template, and then I sew on the line that I traced my pattern out with. And so this is the size of the fabric pattern, and then this is the cardboard that's a little bit smaller, that's going to fit on the inside of your ears. So I know you're saying, okay, so how do I get this in here? Well, after you finish sewing, you're going to flip it back over on the correct side, like this. And this is actually going to be the front of the ears, and this is supposed to be like a Florida themed with the flamingos. Then you're going to take your piece of foam that you cut, and see how I actually took this out so that I could show you. I actually just basically push it in like this, squeeze it in. It's not going to hurt the foam. And then I attach that. I put that inside. And make sure it's straight. And then from there, after I've done both ears, here are both ears already done. The next thing I'm going to be doing is stuffing them. And that's fairly simple, and I'll show you. Now, to stuff my ears, I use the quilted batting, and I usually cut them into squares, just a little larger than the ears actually are. And then I just kind of stick them in. I don't fill my ears really big. I actually like my ears a little flat, so I fill it in. It's kind of hard doing this and looking through my viewfinder, but I wanted you to be able to really see how I do it. So I start to stuff the ears, and I work my way around the outside first, and then I start filling in the middle. And actually, once I sew it up, then I will actually press it in even more just to make sure that it's even through the whole ear. And then that's what the stuffed ear looks like before you finish sewing it. And yes, I do actually then sew it by hand because for me, I just want to make sure that it does not come apart. And I will say this, when you are sewing with a sewing machine, if you're used to sewing with a sewing machine, I wish that I could have shown you how to sew it, but that's kind of hard for me to do. I don't really have anyone to help me with it, but you really do need some basic sewing skills in order to do this one. There are plenty of YouTube videos that show you how you can do a non-sew one. I've found that doing the non-sew ones, I'm not as satisfied with how they look when I'm finished with it, so I kind of stick to the ones that you have to sew. So after you do that, you just stuff this really, really good. You can stuff yours more if you would like, but you don't want to overstuff it so much that you can't then close this part up. So then what I do is I will tuck this in and tuck that in, and then I will do a hand stitch all the way around, and I'll show you what one looks like after it's been hand stitched. So this is one that I've finished hand stitching. As you can see, it's kind of rough looking, but it won't matter because you're going to be gluing it to the headband, so it won't be that big a deal. But this is a Winnie the Pooh one that I'm working on, and I sew all the way across one time, and then I go back and stitch again just to reinforce it. And then what I will do once everything is closed up, I will just kind of push my batting around a little bit just to make sure it's filling out all the little corners that needs to be done. And then you have your 2 ears. You have to cover the headband before you can glue the ears to the headband. So to cover my headbands, I use gross grain ribbon that I've gotten from the Dollar Tree. They don't have a lot of colors to choose from, so if you don't have the color, if you don't see a color that you like, then I would suggest trying like Walmart or one of the fabric stores. But I use a piece of gross grain ribbon, and I cut it to, let's see, I cut 85 inches of the ribbon. And then I take that and, okay, let's say this was 85 inches. It's not, but just for time's sake. I will take that 85 inches of ribbon and then fold it in half and then cut at the top of it. So I'll have 2 pieces. And then I will start to glue. I will basically wrap the headband. I will glue a little piece right here. Let me show you on a different headband. So basically what you would do is you would take a little bit of glue and put right here and attach that there. And you have to be careful because glue is very hot. And then you would turn it over, stick a little bit of glue here, attach that there, then fold it over, flip it around so it gives you a clean edge, and then you would just start to wrap. And you would keep wrapping. Now what I do is I will put a little dab of glue right here as I'm wrapping every couple of inches, just so that my ribbon won't unravel and it'll be nice and tight. And you just keep wrapping and keep wrapping, and then stop, stick a little glue so that it stays attached, and just keep wrapping. And then what you will end up having, you end up with a headband that looks like this. And what I do is, excuse me, those two pieces of ribbon that I cut, I will attach one piece from the bottom here and work my way up to the middle. Attach another piece from the bottom here and work my way up to the middle, and meet and then seal it in the middle. You can kind of see it, a little flap just kind of sticking out right there. That's where the 2 pieces are meet. And then that is the finished ribbon. That is a finished headband wrapped in ribbon. So this is another pair that I am working on. And so I have my 2 ears and I have my headband. And basically the next step that I'm going to do is I'm going to attach the headbands here and here. The ears to the headband here. What I usually do when I'm doing that is,
Hold on one second.
so these are my original Disney ears. I have 1 pair of Disney ears. Yeah, I've actually made most of my ears. So what I would do is use this as kind of a template. The headband is slightly different, but I usually will compare the headbands and then put the ears in the same spot. As close as possible. Now keep in mind I have to make a space for my bow to go. So it might be a little off from the original Disney ones, but I have to make it fit for the ones that I have. So that's a good place for where the ears can go. Then I will take a pin. I will take a pin and make a mark, and make a mark here, and another pin there, and another pin here, so that I know where exactly to place my ears. So the pins are in, and it kind of looks like this when I'm done. And then that is my measurement for gluing my ears on to the headband. So I will put a bead of glue right here on the headband and then attach it, on the ears, and then attach it to the headband. I thought I'd kind of show you my process. So I've put the glue on the ears, and now I have placed it on the headband. And as you can see, I use the pin as a marker, and then I just kind of hold it in place a few minutes. And once I'm sure that it's actually attached, I will then go and put a little bit more glue right in here, just to be sure that it's going to hold. So we're going to let that set, and then I will do the second ear and I'll come back. While we are waiting for the headband to kind of cool off, before we go to the next step, I thought I would show you how I make my bows. So I will take a square of this fabric that I can get at the Walmart, and I will take that and unfold it. And this, it will usually be folded in like 1, 2, 3, 4 different sections. You can see the little lines. And then this is the 4th line, and I've cut that off. And that is what I use to cover my headband, if I'm covering it that way. And then the rest of this I will use to create my bow. And basically, I will take it and I will iron it. Then I will refold it, just because you want to make sure you have the extra creases out. I will refold it into where it's like 3, so you don't see the inside at all. Then I will take that and I will fold it again, and I'm going to show you. You can't really see it on the camera right at this moment, but I will fold it again, and it will kind of look like this. And the back I will tuck in so you don't see the seam, the cut raw edge is what it's called, and it will look like that. And I will show you a piece of video where I kind of show it after I've ironed it and I start to re-put it back in a position. So that will be the next clip. Okay, after it's been ironed, what I will do is I will then take that rectangle that you saw me iron. I will pinch, 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 and that kind of creates my bow. Then I'll take a rubber band and put that in the middle to hold the pinched part in place. And then adjust it and then play around with the bow a little bit until I have it the way I want it to look. And I usually take my ends and push them in. Now this one might be just a little bit too big, so you might have to go back and readjust it on the back and pull that in some more. But that's basically how I make my bows. And so my headband is now secured to the ears. But what I probably will do is go back in and put another bead of glue around here, and then I will take some. So we will probably use some hot pink trim around the headband to hide the glue, and then this is the bow that's going to go with this particular headband. And I'm going to start by wrapping it around until I get to a point where I like the pattern that's going to be in the front, and this is a good pattern right here. And making sure it's tight. And then what I will do is I'm actually using a different type of headband that I have before. So what I like to do with this particular one is I will attach the, trying to do this with one finger. I will attach the headband here in front with some glue, but then I will wrap it around the bottom of the headband and bring it up to the front and glue. So this one is going to be kind of thick, but I want to make sure that, and that'll be the pattern, I want to make sure that it stays in place, and I really can't do that with the camera in front of me, so I'm going to show you it after I'm finished. So basically you're going to wrap it a little bit to get it started. That's why I use a very long piece so that I can cut off when I need to. And then I'm going to glue it to the headband. Now see, I'm looking at this. Hold on one second, I'll show you. So after looking at my bow, I feel like it's too big for the headband. So basically what I'm going to do is make an adjustment. I'm going to make my bow just a little bit smaller. And the way I do that is I'm going to have to take it apart, and I'm going to have to move this over some more on the back just to pull it in, so the headband and the bow will be, so that the bow will look like it's a little bit more in, I'm going to make sure that my bow fits with the headband, because right now you can't see any of the ears because the bow is so big. And so once I do that, then I will go back in again and wrap the bow with the contrasting fabric and attach it to my headband, and then I will come back and show you the finished product. Okay, hopefully you can see that I've put a little bit of the rickrack all the way around. I put some glue in just to seal it in even more, and then I put the rickrack all the way around so you can't see the glue. And that's how I finish it off before I put my bow on. So guys, this is the finished product. This is one of my headbands, Mickey headbands. I ended up having to tuck down the bow a little bit, and I'm probably going to glue it so it stays in place. And this is the back of it, and I'm probably going to sew just right here to keep this intact, and this helps to make the headband a little sturdier. Once it is glued in, it is glued in. It is not going anywhere, but I sew it just to finish it off as well. I did put a bead of glue after I wrapped it all the way around. I put a bead of glue in as well. So that is my finished product.
So I hope that you liked this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, what are you waiting for? And if you'd like to know when the next video will come out, all you have to do is hit that little notification bell below. So until I see you the next time, have a blessed day.